Ukraine accuses Russia of attacking Europe's biggest nuclear power plant, causing a fire. The country's president describes it as nuclear terror.
The authorities say the site is secure and radiation levels are normal. Prime Minister Boris Johnson and US President Biden have both condemned the attack.
Heavy fighting has intensified across Ukraine. The southern city of Mariupol has had its power and water supplies cut off after relentless Russian bombing.
Limited progress at peace talks as both sides agree to humanitarian corridors to allow people to escape conflict zones.
Good morning. Businesses boycott Russia. Co-op and Morrison say they'll no longer sell Russian vodka here, while IKEA and Airbnb join the long list of big names suspending operations in Russia itself. I'll look at what the impact could be.
Good morning. The Winter Paralympics begin today, but without athletes from Russia and Belarus, who are banned from competing now in Beijing, despite protests from Russia, who have lodged an appeal.
Well, time now to take a look at this morning's front pages. And of course, Ukraine definitely still dominating. Now, the Metro leads with figures from the UN suggesting that more than 1 million people have fled Ukraine in the last week. The Financial Times quotes an aide to the mayor of Mariupol who says they're trying to wipe this city off the face of the earth. Putin vows total victory, reports The Times, saying the Russian president claims Ukrainians have been brainwashed. The Guardian writes that President Putin is prompting fears of the worst to come in Ukraine. Now, the Eye has the same, picturing a bombed-out group of buildings. And the Telegraph calls it Putin's chilling warning, with a picture of a refugee carrying a baby in her arms. And the Mail asks, who'll rid this world of this ranting madman? Now, the Sun proclaims Putin is the extreme gangster as a father hugs the body of his son, his dead son. And the Express pleads, in God's name, Putin, stop the suffering. And this is the Mirror's front page. Talk to me, says Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukraine's president, of course. He's calling for talks with his Russian counterpart.
Jonah Fisher was BBC's Kyiv correspondent for 4 years, and every morning, Jonah, you take us through what's been happening, and there's been a lot happening overnight, and it's important, I think, right at the beginning to put things in context, because this strike on a nuclear plant, which is safe, has happened overnight, but it's been really alarming.
It has been. Morning, guys. Yes, this is our map showing Ukraine as it is. Those red areas there are the areas, broadly speaking, that are under Russian control. And this is Zaporizhia, the nuclear power plant. You can see it there, right on the front line where Russia has been expanding towards the north. Now, that power plant there is the largest nuclear power plant of its type in Europe. You can see here, these are the 6 nuclear reactors. It generates about a quarter of Ukraine's energy needs. Now, this is what has been happening overnight. This is footage from CCTV at the power plant. It shows what the Ukrainians say is shelling of the plant by the Russians and a fire breaking out in what we believe and what we've been told is an administrative building, so not the reactors themselves. Now, to be very clear about what has taken place, as Charlie said there, as of now, there is no indication there has been any damage to any of those 6 reactors or an increase in radiation levels. The International Atomic Energy Agency tweeted this a short while ago, effectively saying the same thing, that there has been no change reported in radiation levels at the power plant. Now, watching on from Kiev, Ukraine's beleaguered President Volodymyr Zelensky was quick to sound the alarm about what had happened.
We need to stop the Russian military immediately. Scream to your politicians. Ukraine is 15 nuclear units. If there is an explosion, it is the end of everything, the end of Europe.
The Ukrainians are clearly under intense pressure at the moment as the Russians advance to the north, south and the east. And it looks like this was a serious enough incident to mean that Prime Minister Boris Johnson was woken up at 9 minutes past 3 this morning. He tweeted this, that he'd spoken to President Zelensky and called on Russia to immediately cease its attack on the power station and allow unfettered access for emergency services into the plant. We've also had a tweet from the US Energy Secretary confirming yet again that radiation levels have not risen and that the reactors are being shut down. Now, for parts of tonight, there was a period of time when the fighting that was taking place there was preventing Ukrainian firefighters from getting into the plant, but they were eventually allowed in. And by 5:20 in the morning, they were there. They started tackling the blazes, and they have confirmed that the fire is now out. The word from Zaporizhzhia now is that the Russian forces are now in control of that power plant. Yet another part of Ukraine, Charlie and Naga, that is now under the control of the Russians.